Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Here's Miss Tiger Keelback. A very, very shy snake. This is a venomous and poisonous snake from Southeast Asia. It does kill people, and actually the Japanese produce an anti-venom for it. She's a natural fish and frog eater. I did have her on pinkies for a while, but she was refusing those because she's, like I said, she's really shy. So I have some fish for her instead. I'm going to come back for this guy who's sort of dying anyway. Now, he was okay until I stressed him out by catching him with a net. I didn't deprive him of oxygen at all. He just stressed out and went over on his side. So I can't help that. Unfortunately, if you live on this planet, you're on somebody's menu. Now, those orange warning areas on Miss Keelback's neck is where the nuchal glands are located. The nuchal glands are the cells in her body that sequester and secrete toad toxins from the toxic little frogs that she eats, sort of like our very famous poison dart frogs. They sequester poison from the toxic ants that they eat, using those ant toxins and to their advantage. Okay, I see that this guy has temporarily decided to revive himself. Now, if a predator grabs her by the neck, they're poisoned by the toxins from the nuchal gland, which obviously leaves a very bad taste in her mouth. And theoretically, according to the Keelback's natural history, the predators are much inclined to let go at that point. And the Keelback lives another day. Now, at the back of her upper jaw is a rather robust fang, which allows the venom from her venom glands to be channeled down into the body of the intended prey item. As you can see, she's a very, very shy girl. Go on, catch the fish. Catch the fish. So these are venomous and poisonous snakes. Their venom creates a clotting inhibition cascade, much like the Boomslang does, and that causes people to bleed and seep serum and blood and everything from different just about every port and pore on your body. So I'm going to leave her go, and maybe she'll eat that, maybe she won't. Okay, so my assistant and I, Dan, prepared this cage, larger cage for Bucky the Boomslang, or the Bucky the Bucktooth Boomslang as we know her and love her. We're putting her in here, A, for larger quarters, B, she's going to be visited after she settles in by the wacko blue-green male across there in hopes that she breeds. Now, earlier this year, she dumped out a boatload of slugs. And to me, that's a shame. She's ready to breed. It'd be fun to breed boomslangs, but finding homes for a boatload of boomslangs may not be so easy. But in my opinion, if I have a snake and I can breed it, that sort of fulfills one of their major tasks of any life form in nature, and that's to reproduce. And that's one of my creeds that I abide by. So I'll reproduce her, and I'll spread as many of the babies that I get feeding and to as many people as I can. So, you know, she's got some of her genes out there like it was intended. So right now, the task is to safely move her from one cage to the other. So we will commence with that fun and game. Now, Bucky rarely comes out, and when she does, she's generally expecting food, and when she's expecting food, she really can come out quite rapidly. Come on, Bucky. I'm going to trick you, I think, or I'm going to try. But I think you realize that there's no food in this for you. Right now, I don't necessarily want her to come out. What I want to do is try to get her log out first, her furniture, so she can at least take her stinky pooey log and have something which, you know, has her scent on it. I'm sure she will poop in the cage almost immediately. But it's nice to have something that smells like home. Just for emotional support. It's like her emotional support log sort of deal. So we'll put that in the back here, and Dan strung up some nice brand new foliage to give her a little bit more security. There's a nice basking spot on this piece of vine that we attached. So now all that's left is to move Bucky over, and hopefully she cooperates. Now after here's one of the slugs that I didn't retrieve. For those who are unfamiliar, those are my fingers, not pinkies. Slugs are unfertilized ova that the animal expels, and she went off feed for the longest time, and after she dumped those embryos, she was absolutely rail thin. I was really worried about her, but she came back on feed and I fed her up, and she recovered her size and weight and is doing generally pretty well. Now, boomslangs are rear fangs, but they're boomslangs of the highest caliber. They will kill people and have. Boomslangs are not unlike other rear fang snakes. Other rear fang snakes can only open their mouths so far. Boomslangs can actually open their mouth 180 degrees and just sort of slam into you. They don't have to bite. You're okay, girl. You can come closer. She's not interested in zooming around the room at this point. For those that don't know boomslangs, boomslang venom is the venom equivalent of Ebola. It's, of course, not infectious because it's not a virus. However, it causes the same sort of destruction when introduced into a human body. It causes permeation of your capillaries and destruction of your clotting factors. Subsequently, you basically melt down into a puddle of your own bodily fluids. A very bad way to go, as many people have discovered. Hi there. How you doing? Now, she can, of course, go close that distance faster than I can probably react, so I'm just going to freeze. But you can see why we call her Bucky. When she arrived in the bags, boomslangs have this bad habit of rubbing their face incessantly trying to escape, to the point where she actually eroded her nose all the way back to her exposed skull bones. And that's what we see there, is her exposed skull. She's healed. She's doing really well, as I said. Of course, there's always a chance that you can lose a snake like that. But we managed to pull her through. So, you know, she's not the best looking boomslang and display animal that I've seen. However, unlike other collectors, I don't need perfect animals. Each animal is kept because it has a great personality, not that it has any sort of a defect. Unless the animal's quality of life is poor, I will not euthanize an animal just because it's not perfect. Unlike all you morph breeders out there who wantonly kill animals you produce just because it doesn't have the traits that you were hoping. So to hell with all you guys. You guys are just really bad for the reptile community in general. That said, Bucky is often exploring her cage. We'll move her name tag over, and we'll move on to the next victim in the lair.
Well, we moved Miss Bucky Boomslang, and as you can see, this is a very unhappy snake. She has got her neck flared as far as large as I've ever seen it. Are you upset with us? Are you upset with us, Miss Bucky? You know, it's the same place, same room, same people. It's just a different, clean cage. But yeah, she's not happy about that. Sorry, girlie. Sorry. Who knew having a nice, fresh, bigger cage would be so upsetting to a snake? And you see the size of that neck flare. It's kind of hard to tell because black against black in a dark background, it's a bit hard to see, but she looks like she has a wattle. That's how large it is. Yes, we know, you're very pissed off. Hopefully you settle in soon.
Well, Lori couldn't get that baby's newborn baby squam to feed, so she deferred it for me to get it to feed, and I got it to take it. And so far, so good.
Yes, well, it did that for me too. It just never did eat it.
Come on, come on. No running around. That's okay. If it doesn't eat it, well, I'll stuff it. I'm the stuffing crew. Because if they don't eat, you don't eat your meat, you can't have the pudding. They're just so fierce. God, I know. Look, I'm trying to help you out, make you a bigger, stronger, fierce little snake. Oh my, are we being tough? Are we being tough? Now, mind you, their venom is to be respected. Even a drop of this can probably ruin my day. Although I don't think it would have major systemic problems from a bite. I would probably lose a little bit of flesh and certainly go through a lot of pain. And if you've got anybody out there who's ever been bitten by a viper, that pain can be really bad. And it just, you know, strong opiates just sort of take the edge off. Then it doesn't make it go away. Come on. Come on. I'm just visiting your sibling. I figured I would give you a shot since you were close at hand. Hello. Yes, I'm going to bother you until you retake this. No, I want you to stay on that side of the towel. Stop making me waste all my venom. They can be stubborn, and you know, when you got a boatload of these can be quite time consuming.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You can sit here and play around with a half dozen of these for 2 hours. You know, at this size, they're probably eating invertebrates. I can't think of anything other than small crickets and other things like that would be their natural food. But I found that trying to feed, you know, baby snakes like this, you have to go through a lot of crickets to make a meal. What, you think you're getting away, huh? Now that, I would guess, would probably be female.
Well, she's already eaten too, so
Alright, well,
she may just be full at this point.
I'm just gonna let her go at this
It's
point.
that one that, as you can see, he's just sitting there with that hanging out of his mouth.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Just swallow it. Either you'll swallow it, or I'm gonna get to the point where I'm not wasting any more time with you, and I will stick it down your throat.
You're gonna swallow it whether you want to or not.
Come on. Take a lunge for me, huh? Okay, you're running out of time, dude. I can see you're trying to regurge it.
Yeah, he's trying to spit it out, same as he did for me.
Well, regurging for me is a totally different issue. Because I will make him, I'll get it down to his stomach, and then it's a lot harder to regurge. Not impossible, but certainly harder. Okay. Okay, you're out of time, dude. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so that's fine. We'll just reset. We'll just reset. You cute little wormy. Yeah, you're so fierce. And now you've got a really good size perspective. Now what I'll do is I'll wet it down, make it nice and sloppy. Now one of the major dangers that I'm really cautious about is, of course, bones sticking out.
Oh, you little brat, that one just took a swing at me. I wasn't paying attention. That could have been unfortunate.
Yeah, they will get you when you're not looking.
You a big bad snake.
Come on, no death rolling. I said no death rolling, so what is it doing? Death rolling. So now we'll try to gently work them down.
You want me to get another limb ready while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off for a moment.
Gotta bite it a few times, huh? Alright, so this is a little bit bigger, and normally I trim them down, but I want to get as much into this guy as I can. There we go. Okay. So we're good. We're in there. So now we'll just push it down. I see you. You're watching, huh? Okay. So now that we've got food in the belly, we'll release it and we'll just let it go back in where it's warm, and hopefully we'll digest it. This is the only other one that I didn't visit with today. Everybody else seems to be okay. Tomorrow we'll feed these guys again. Well, you really are sucking up the light there, dude. You may have to flash on this one. Tried to get that little fly.